So today I have with me Dr. Harvinder Singh, the Chairperson of Admissions and esteemed marketing faculty at IMT Ghaziabad. So Professor, you have spent over 2 decades in teaching marketing. What has actually inspired you to choose this field and dedicate your career into this?
Well, an interesting question to begin with. Let me be honest. As a teenager and youngster, I was highly introvert. I did not have the courage and confidence to reach out to people and talk to them.
Okay.
So I spent most of my time reading books and observing people. I was a very good listener. While doing so, I actually started developing interest in what people do, how they think, how they behave. But when it came to choosing a master's degree, I realized that I can actually develop this kind of hobby, observing people, if I go to an applied field. And marketing was an automatic choice. And let me be honest with you, last 30 years now, 95 onwards, there is not a single day that I regret my decision. I'm really happy about doing this.
That is amazing, sir. Okay, so sir, having witnessed marketing throughout these years, what have you noticed? What key changes that brands connect with consumers today?
So let's go back 30 years. Year is 1995.
Yes.
We had newspapers, we had television channels, just a handful of TV channels. So organizations or brands used to communicate only one way. If you see over the years, now we have a two-way communication. People can also respond to it. Third thing is people can talk to each other much more quickly through social media and digital media. And the best part now is people can be your partners in co-creation of content.
Yes.
So now ultimately 30, 40 years back, brands used to own or control the story or the narrative.
Absolutely.
Now 30, 40 years down the line, the power of or the ownership of content has moved from brand to consumers. Now consumers own the narrative, they control the narrative, and that can be very good for the brands.
That is a very powerful change, sir. So, sir, you have guided students through programs that actually expose them to various business environments. So, I want to know that how does such experiences help them develop a global marketing perspective?
Okay, so if you talk about business programs, global perspective is imparted many ways. We all understand the easiest way is to talk about international books and cases. That's one way of doing it. International immersions are another way.
Yes.
There could be short-term immersions, a week long. It could be longer immersions, medium-term rather, about 1 term, 2 to 3 months. There could be very long immersions, 1 year. Fortunately, at IMT, we have all these models. Then we have international students coming on campus.
Yes.
That's a third way. Fourth is you have international faculty members on campus, teaching students.
Correct.
So at IMT, we have all these models. I've seen the last 15 years I've spent with IMT only. So I understand that using international case studies or examples serves a limited purpose because students do not really understand how people live, breathe, behave in an international environment.
Correct.
I believe immersions are really helpful, especially long-term immersions. I would like to specifically mention about a dual country program that we have at IMT Ghaziabad, in which students live for 1 complete year at an international location. That's Dubai. Now, when you are a part of a setup which is truly international, you learn multiple ways. You learn inside the class, you learn via curriculum, you learn via your projects. But then, the moment you step out of a campus, you board a bus, you go to a store, you do some shopping, you order food in a restaurant.
Correct.
You are interacting with people who have been born and brought up under different value systems.
Absolutely.
So how to meet them, greet them, interact with them, that's a wonderful learning. So there's no substitute to an international immersion if you want to broaden your mindset. And when these become a part of your subconscious mind, when you take up a job that requires international interactions, your subconscious mind automatically tunes you that way. I think we have a good blend of it. But see, you can't send all the people all the time to all the locations.
Absolutely.
So case studies would still remain a very valuable, useful mean for broadening the students' mindset, globalizing it.
Moving on to the next question, sir. You have trained professionals as well from industries like FMCG, automobile and manufacturing. So I wish to understand what are some key takeaways that you have in your experiences and you share this with your students.
In my first year marketing course, I actually start with this discussion. So MBA curricula in general talk about brand and the consumer.
Correct.
As if nothing exists in between. But those who practice marketing would know that everything exists between these two only. Brands do not and cannot reach out to consumers if they do not have the bridge called intermediaries. Fortunately, all my trainings, be it with FMCG or automobiles, has been with intermediaries.
Okay.
So I have trained extensively distributors, dealers of multiple companies. And so I understand what they feel, what they think, what are their pain points.
Right. Understood.
So when I talk to students, I tell them, do not look at brands in isolation. Look them as an ecosystem, which is a collaboration between a brand, which has its own sensitivities, and partners who are independent players.
Correct.
And both these synchronize their work. They should synchronize their work so as to deliver something that is meaningful for the consumers. So once you understand this bit, I believe your thinking as a manager, marketing manager, is more holistic.
So sir, your classes are known of being highly interactive. So how do you blend theory with real life discussions, debates and live cases that make this learning truly engaging for students?
There's a very thin line of distinction between being engaging and being entertaining, right?
Okay.
Entertaining classes are good, but they don't add much value.
Correct.
So the essence of engagement is you have to have content which is meaningful and relevant, and you deliver it in such a way that people absorb it readily so that they have a long-lasting impact. Now, when we talk of an engaging class, it actually starts with having a structure. It could be a model or a theory.
Correct.
So I don't believe in having too much of content in a single class. Once that framework is ready, I take it to the class and we try to fit something which is contemporary in that framework. For example, the other day we were talking about channel design, and we say, fine, so we are talking of automobiles and we have electrical combustion engines. What if we are thinking of electric vehicles?
Okay.
So would the same design work? The class was divided. Some people said yes, some people said no.
No, correct.
The people who said no, we said, fine, let's think of a parallel design. So something which is contemporary coming from students, and my job becomes easier in the sense I put those arguments on the green board and then we can debate stronger versus weaker points, and eventually the class gets involved. They are doing, that's their content, so they have a sense of ownership and engagement. Secondly, most of them would believe that this particular discussion might come up across the table in future when they interact with, appear for an interview. Because that's relevant, that's so relevant. Case studies, of course, at times tend to be passive, because if you give a case study, tell people to submit the conclusion. However, a better way is to have a case study, request someone, a group or an individual, to share their view, and then let the class debate pros and cons, strengths and weaknesses of perspectives shared by that team or that student. So if class is involved in commenting on or vetting the content, I think they tend to remember more for a longer time period. And you get multiple perspectives. I mean, my perspective is Harvinder Singh's perspective, and I'm only one human being. We have 60 guys in the class. They share their perspective. The class overall gets richer by absorbing multiple perspectives.
Absolutely, sir. And being your student, I can confirm on this completely. So you have published case studies with leading institutions like Ivy and Harvard. In your opinion, what makes a case study truly effective in shaping these managerial thinking?
Yes, case writing is something that is very close to my heart, because I believe that is core to the job I do, which is preparing students for the industry.
Correct.
So when we talk of good case study, a good case study should have an idea and a theory. You have to blend these two. There has to be a theoretical framework or a learning that you want to impart. And case or the story becomes a vehicle. And you must identify, find out an incident or character or story which is relevant, recent, interesting enough. That's one condition. Once you have this thing ready, this next task is to fill the content. And there's a very paradoxical thing. A good case study should be complete yet incomplete. Now, when I say complete, it should have a lot of content in terms of completeness. It should have all the relevant facts that participants to a class would need for arriving at a decision. But yet, it should be incomplete in the sense it should not actually throw away everything. It should leave something to students' assumption or creativity, for the simple reason that in real life, as a manager, you would never come across complete facts in front of you. And you would be required to use your judgment or your creativity.
Absolutely.
So I say a good case study is complete yet incomplete. So gone are the days of 20-page long cases that Harvard used to publish. Nobody has time, but attention span has gone down. So we are talking of 2-page, 5-page, 6-page cases also. Anything from 2 to 10 pages is good enough. A 2-page case would have a very, very focused learning objective.
Yes, sir.
A 10-page case would be more comprehensive.
Correct.
Last thing that I talk about a good case is that even if a professor has written a case study with a specific learning objective and a storyline, audience during subsequent readings should be in a position to identify something new. So there are cases written on strategy, and I've used them only for marketing perspective. There are marketing cases that people have used for strategic management or something else.
Absolutely. Right? So, sir, I wish to know, is there a particular case or a classroom moment that stands out especially memorable for you and in which you know it was very impactful for you or your students?
There are many, Nymphia, there are many. But if I have to pick up one, there is one instance. About 2 years back, I was teaching a case study. It was a long case. The discussion happened. After discussion, after the class, a student walked up to me. She said, "That's your case. It's a nicely written case." I said, "Thank you." So there's one mistake. And he actually pointed out a typographic error about currency conversion. The editor somehow missed it, and at the review stage, I somehow also missed it. It's a long case, and there were 50 odd references. I missed it. And I was very happy for multiple reasons. Number one, the student had read the case thoroughly. Number two, the student had the guts and the courage to walk up to a professor saying, "Sir, you made a mistake." And the third was, he did that so diplomatically. He could have raised his hand in the class, saying, "Sir, this is wrong." And which is not the best way. The truth remains truth. I was wrong, but then he waited for the class to end, reached out to me, no one else was standing next, and then he pointed this out. And I realized this boy has learned what it takes to be a manager, right?
Yes.
I was really impressed.
So, sir, there are many students who aspire to be having a successful career in marketing. I just wish to know, what are these skills or qualities that you feel separate a good marketer from a great one?
Well, from good to great. A great marketer, I would say, is someone who keeps his or her curiosity intact. Now, what happens is all of us are curious as kids, infants. As we grow, we start accepting some things as standard ways of thinking and doing. And we try to get ourselves fit into certain molds. A great marketer would always remain curious as a child. Observation power, they'll be very good observants. Great marketers would be very flexible, adaptable. They would be excellent listeners. They would process and analyze data quickly but impartially. So it's very difficult to keep your personal biases away when you analyze data. At times you end up giving preference or primacy to arguments that support your way of doing or thinking. Great marketers never bring their biases in front. they're wonderful collaborators, and they are always looking for anything new that has come up in the market in terms of skills, technologies, softwares. And I've seen people in the age of 60 trying to learn AI because they know that's a new thing. And you would see many 30 plus people who would say, no, this AI is not meant for me. Right? So that's the difference between good to great. Right?
Understood, sir. Okay, so my next question is with AI. So with these AI, analytics and digital media redefining marketing, how do you see the role of creativity evolving today?
Interesting. I have heard many people saying now AI means death of creativity.
Right.
But I think AI can actually enhance creativity. We should see, at least personally, I see AI as an enabler. Think of a situation, being a creative person, you have some thought, you had some thoughts in your mind 20 years back, you wanted to implement those thoughts. You were dependent on so many things. You wanted data, it used to come from someone else at a much inferior, slower pace. You had to wait for things to happen.
Correct.
Now, with the help of AI or digital technologies, you can get data or insights at the speed of light.
Correct.
Lots of insights. And those insights would actually be the inputs that would shape your creativity. That's one thing. Apart from that, a lot of things that we used to outsource, we used to depend on other people. Now, AI would help us do it. If you want to create a video or a graphic, you don't need to find someone who can do it better than you. You simply use AI and get it done.
Correct.
So point is, I go back 30, 40 years when I was young, and believe me, I was young long back. That time when computers came, the argument was computers will take away jobs. Fine. And now we know computers have improved productivity of employees. Similarly, I believe digital technologies and Gen AI would actually improve productivity, and they will actually take creativity to a new level, where you as an individual could be a one-man army or one-person army, if I be gender neutral. So that way, this is an enabler, enhancer, supporter, not a competition to creativity.
I hope more people think in this direction and take it as an aid to their work and not as a competitor. So, sir, you have received several awards for excellence in teaching and research. What continues to motivate you to innovate your ways for teaching every day?
Fortunately, I have chosen a profession that keeps you young and alive all the time. So you have fresh challenges coming up from outside, but the real motivation comes from within. See, I took up this profession because I was internally motivated. I wanted to know people. Fine. This drive is still alive because I see things are changing. You talked about digital technologies, AI. As a result, consumers are changing, industries, companies are changing. So the internal motivation is to understand what kind of changes are happening these days. That's one thing. Internal satisfaction that I get after delivering a good session is one thing. Long back, someone told me, not long back, about 10 years back, when IPL had started, someone said in an MBA program, every class is like a T20. So if you have 20 or 24 sessions, you have 20 or 24 matches. You have to win every match. And the satisfaction you get at the end of a good class. You don't need to wait for feedback at the end of the term. You see it on the face of your students. And the other thing, of course, I see my students doing very well in industry. I see them on LinkedIn. Some of them get awards, accolades. When I see them, I say, okay, I taught this guy. And some of them actually acknowledge, mention our names publicly or in person. That's also a big motivation.
So, sir, what advice would you want to give to your management students who want to understand marketing not just as a subject, but as a way to understand people and businesses?
Very important. So when it comes to understanding, studying marketing for understanding life, I would say life, that's a broader frame. I believe people should, first of all, need to be curious, maintain your curiosity. Number two, do not confine yourself to a single text or a source of information or medium. Textbooks are there to help us. So we have the standard textbook that everyone knows. I don't want to name the author. It will be publicity for the person. But look beyond that. Read a lot of newspapers, talk to as many people as you want, move out, do projects, talk to alums, talk to industry, a lot of things. But all these are inputs. Take all these inputs, come back and reflect. And there are two ways of reflecting or discussing things. Reflect within yourself and discuss with a core group of people who share your learning philosophy. Because 100 inputs might mean 10 things to you. It might mean 10 different things to the other person. And that's what we call peer learning. Absolutely. Outside the class. Yes. One more thing. Do not confine yourself to reading content on marketing.
Okay.
Read literature, read history, move places, see places, read geography, sociology, psychology. All these are important. Eventually, life is all about putting a lot of diverse pieces together. Marketing is the same. You need to put a lot of diverse things together because it's all about fulfilling human needs.
Correct.
And needs do not originate only in the field of business. They are part of life.
And finally, sir, what message would you like to share to your students and aspiring marketeers who want to begin their journey in the world of business and marketing?
The advice is not different from what I responded to the previous session. I would say be an open individual, be a flexible individual, be a learning-oriented person, be a people's person. When I say people's person, I'm not talking only about social skills, I'm also talking about being concerned about what is good for other people. In the field of marketing, you would have your consumers to think about, you will have your team members to think about, and you will have other stakeholders in society in general.
Absolutely.
Taking some decisions might lead to better revenues, more profits, maybe a quick promotion as well. But in the long run, you should always think of long-term impact of your decision on all these stakeholders. So a decision which comes at the cost of welfare of your colleagues is not good. A decision that ends up harming your customers in the long run is unfair, not to be taken. And a decision that might be useful for the organization, your colleagues and consumers, but eventually harms the society, environment, that should also be avoided. So when I say be a people's person, think about all people, all stakeholders. That's it.
Thank you very much, sir. It was an amazing and a very fruitful session. I have learned a lot of things and I hope my peers who are watching will also get to know your insights. Thank you very much, sir, for your time and we hope to see you soon.
Thanks for inviting me to this talk, Nimfia. You also made me think about a lot of things that I never consciously thought of.